Quality education for Indigenous research and nation building laga theme under de Fazl Ali College annual lecture do thakishi. Kundo college laga internal quality assurance cell laga initiative ase. Lecture garne Fazl Ali College, Mokokchung College of Teacher Education, Nagaland University, Clark Theological College, aro Jubilee Memorial College pra students aro academicians kan ahishi. Itu laga program de Indigenous cultural conservation laga advocate, poet aro educator Dr. Tesinyo Kedichupra jama kurigina thakya manukhan ge quality education laga opode challenge kurishi.
Dr. JioTV, Director, College Development Council, Nagaland University, faculty members from Mokokchung College of Teacher Education, Clark Theological College, faculty and students, Jubilee Memorial College faculty, the media fraternity, vice principal, colleagues, and my dear students. It is indeed a pleasure, a great pleasure, to welcome you all to the inaugural FSC annual lecture. And since you all must have got the program,
our IQC coordinator, our esteemed inaugural speaker, Dr. Tesinyo Kedichupra, invitees from the university, from various colleges and NGOs, media friends, esteemed colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm good morning to all of you. Today, in my introductory note, I will take little more than
these shawls. They take it off, and then next time you visit their house, it's used as a tablecloth. So I promise that this will be very cherished, that I will wear it, and it will never adorn any other item or furniture in the house except my body. Principal, Vice Principal, Coordinator, IQSC, and Chairperson, esteemed faculty and students, I want to thank you so much for this opportunity. Knowledge, whether it is in the West or in the East, must be tested to be valid. And I want to tell you a little bit, a secret about my life is, I just study a lot. I love reading, I love studying, and I'm always buried in my books and my ideas. And even if you're developing so many ideas, if you don't have an audience or a group that are willing to listen and respond, it's useless. And so when the IQSC coordinator got in touch with me and asked me to speak, I jumped at the idea. So willy-nilly, thank you so much for being my guinea pigs and for confining yourself to this room to listen to my ideas. I've been working on Indigenous knowledge and alternative learning for, I think, over a decade now. And as much as I'm reading into the material, I've also at the same time been trying to return to traditional forms of sharing this knowledge. And so whether it is the visual, whether it is the oral, even if through digitally. And today I'm going to apologize in advance because I was asked, do I want to make a PowerPoint presentation, handouts, etc. And I said, no, I would like to go back to that old way of sharing knowledge, which was just simply speaking, and speaking perhaps for too long. So I'm already apologizing in advance, and I look forward to your questions after. I've been invited to speak on quality education for Indigenous research and nation building. The question here is, what is quality education? Can we make a home here in our institutions, or will we always feel like trespassers? Whether we want to or not, I think we will all agree these are questions that surface in our thoughts every once in a while. For me, personally, these questions start chorusing in my head when I enter my workplace, Kohima College, and grow louder as I go about my work. There is something about being inside physical institutions that amplify their insistence and urgency. And more so when I stand before my students, I often think how fragile and enduring education is. Whatever be the state of infrastructure, and I must say in Fazl College, you have such incredible infrastructure. Ours is a little humble by these standards. And the conditions and rhythms of work set by the university or our governments, one thing is for sure. Inside our classrooms, in that space of interaction with our students, something keeps returning to life. There is always a pulse, even if faint, and because of it, there is always possibility. The fact that our students come in droves, adjust, endure, survive, and yes, some few who even transcend our transient system, reminds me that the idea of nation is lived in the everyday, and especially in our institutions. Every morning when our young people take their seats, we begin again the slow, difficult task of building a nation, stacking thoughts, layering, arranging ideas that will eventually coalesce into new monuments and institutions. For those of us who teach in public institutions, the idea of quality education is both aspiration and mirage. Under the new FYUGP, our classrooms are supposed to model the future. Interdisciplinary, flexible, research-driven. But the truth is less luminous. The infrastructure groans under old weight. Administrative paperwork thickens like moss. Teachers are expected to innovate with little support. And still, we show up. The phrase quality education circulates easily in policies, advertisements, political speeches, as though its meaning were self-evident. In Nagaland, I think, this phrase has joined that special lexicon of terms such as development, women empowerment, Nagaland for Christ, political solution, etc. Words we all seem to understand and use liberally, but whose meanings none of us quite seem to be able to explain, and even less execute. I have come to see that their meanings depend on who is speaking, and more crucially, from where. So when we say quality education, what does it mean in a place like Nagaland? A region I see as thrice colonized. First by the British, then by the church, and finally by the Indian state, and now absorbed into a fourth, the neoliberal colonization of markets and amplified by a digital infiltration of algorithms and metrics. What does quality mean when the language of instruction itself is inherited from the colonizer? When we are expected to think in tongues, not our own. Perhaps before asking what is quality, we must ask quality by whose standards? For the longest time, the Indian state's reckoning with its colonial legacy has been a Sisyphean cycle. Like in the Greek myth of Sisyphus, cursed to roll a huge boulder up a mountain only to have it rolled down and repeat the cycle through eternity.